Yes, indeed, folks, Resident Blue Please, here on CynicalBit.com with myself, Total Biscuit. Well, I haven't played WoW in months, and I think a lot of you are aware of this, and honestly, I was running out of things to talk about, but Blizzard just provides in spades with their latest disaster. And this time I do actually mean it. This is not hyperbole. As far as I'm concerned, this is freaking terrible. So, there was a big piece of information, massive piece, over on Wowhead, and also this information came on MMO Champion as well. You can go check that out on either of them. And this was a result of a press tour for several of the largest sites. Now, in doing so, they released a huge set of information, which a lot of it is bad. I mean, it's really bad. There's 3 pieces of information that are particularly terrible, and I'd like to focus on those one at a time today. Now, before I do, I'd like to preface this with the fact that it's not just about cutting content. The removal of this content represents a couple of key things. And most importantly is the fact that it is the abandoning of the idea that done when it's done is the way to develop. So, let's make a start, shall we? Head over to MMO Champion. You can read along with me. We'll see what MMO Champion has to say on this particular matter. So, the first thing is first. In Cataclysm, ladies and gents, one of the big features was Path of the Titans. It was touted as the alternate progression system. It was supposed to flesh out one's character, give you another way to progress that wasn't gear-based, and also give people that didn't perhaps like raiding all that much a way to progress their character. Sounded like a great idea. A lot of concept art was shown, a lot of system design was shown. They did come out and just say, hey, look, this is how we're going to do it. They did a whole panel on it at BlizzCon. Ton of information. Sounded like it was a little bit rough around the edges, but with polish it could really turn out to be something great. So what did they do? They cut it. It's gone. Completely. Totally, completely gone. Wow. Really? Okay, so they killed one of the biggest and best features, as far as I'm concerned, in Cataclysm that I was really looking forward to. So, this is what they had to say. The whole Path of the Titans idea has been removed from the game. It will no longer rely on archaeology or on any kind of PvE/PvP progression, and instead Blizzard will just introduce a new type of glyphs, medium glyphs. Medium glyphs will add a fun factor to abilities. It wouldn't be surprising to see something similar to the fortification or breakthrough glyphs first previewed during BlizzCon 2009. And that's it. Wow. Awesome. So we've taken out a feature that could have potentially been really great for both hardcore and casual players, for people that wanted to raid and people that didn't raid. We've taken out a layer of complexity that could have really taken the game beyond where it's been stuck for the past 5 years. And we're replacing it with another type of glyph. Yay! I am thrilled! Can't you tell? I'm dancing around at this very moment on the camera. Yes, indeed! Ugh! Yes, glyphs! So thrilling! So exciting! God, glyphs are incredibly boring! Jeez! Now, they went on to explain why. They've come up with a number of rationalizations, so I'd like to try and debunk some of them. So, Path of the Titans removal. Big description. This is from Ghostcrawler, so I'm going to try and deal with this as much as humanly possible. Now, needless to say, a lot of people were rather upset about this. Can you really blame them? Hey look, you've just cut a major expansion feature! Right, okay. So, this is what Ghostcrawler has to say on the matter. We still think it would be cool to add some kind of post-game progression to allow for player customization, but would have to be very careful and do it right. No one wanted to see a feature that felt like it delivered on half its potential. Why? All of your other features have done that. Isn't that the point of an MMO? Seriously? You bring in a feature and then you grow it over time? Hopefully in an organic manner that actually makes sense? You take player feedback, you refine the system, you make it better, you make it bigger. Isn't that MMO development right there in a nutshell? Let's take an example. Let's apply this, shall we? Let's apply Ghostcrawler's logic to other parts of the game. So, nobody wants to see a feature that felt like it delivered on half of its potential. No one wanted to be thinking about how we're going to fix the flawed path system in 5.0. Okay, let's apply that to a few things. Okay, let's start with Battlegrounds. No one really wanted to see Alterac Valley deliver only half its potential. No one wanted to see Warsong Gulch deliver half its potential. No one wanted to see the entire PvP system deliver half its potential. And we don't want to think about fixing it in a later patch, so we're just not going to put it in. No one wanted to see raiding deliver half its potential because, you know, Molten Core was such a fantastic raid instance, and Onyxia was the pinnacle of raid design right there. And we never wanted to see that. Of course not. We never wanted to see how we were going to fix the raiding system. That was, in terms of Molten Core, a complete freaking mess. No, we didn't want to fix that. We didn't want to, of course, fix the raid gear itemization. We didn't want to do that either, because, you know, that was a complete mess, and it took almost 2 years to get that balance right. No one wanted to see that, which is why we never put raiding in the game. Wait a minute. Yes, we did. We put all sorts of features into the game that did not deliver on half their potential, but were refined later. Let's think about it, for instance. Oh yes, hard modes. Hard modes didn't deliver on half their potential until Ulduar, and then they broke it again, and then they're probably going to have to fix it again. So that's a feature that has not delivered on its potential, so you're going to take that out, right? That's gone. Yeah? Sure, you're going to cut hard modes out of Cataclysm. No, you're not going to do that. Okay, fair enough. I guess that's fair enough. Well, okay, what about just the game in general, then? You didn't want to ship the game that was only going to deliver half its potential. Are you suggesting that WoW, the launch version of WoW, delivered on even half its potential? Because you'd be wrong. You'd be completely, totally freaking wrong. This is a garbage argument. That's a terrible, unbelievable argument. Why would you even try to pull that over the eyes of anyone that's been playing for longer than 6 freaking months? Anyone's been playing since launch sees through that. Anyone's ever played an MMO for longer than a week sees that as bollocks, because that's exactly what it is. It is a terrible rationalization. It is garbage. That's your excuse for not putting content in. It's never stopped you before. How much crappy content have you put in the game? Do you really think TOC lived up to its potential? Do you really think Nax 2 lived up to its potential? Do you really think that the launch versions of SSC and TK lived up to their potential? Because, of course, no one wanted to see a feature that, oh yeah, that was broken as well. Welcome to MMO development. Blizzard Entertainment, newest kid on the block. Obviously, they've never done this before, so I'm going to have to fill them in on a few basics. The first one is this. MMOs are never finished. The second one is this. MMOs have a higher bug ratio than normal games because they are bigger and more complex. And here's the third point. Perhaps the most important point. Anyone that plays an MMO accepts those two preceding facts. And what does that mean? That means you can bring in a feature that might not be perfect. Or barely any of your features are. I mean, seriously. That's arrogance right there. We're Blizzard. We create always perfect content, and if it's not perfect, we're just going to scrap it entirely. Now, don't get me wrong. I get it in terms of stuff like StarCraft Ghost and Warcraft Adventures, games which were obviously going to be bad. That's fine. But we're talking about a feature that seemed to be fairly fully fleshed out in 2009. And at the end of 2010, when this comes out, you're telling me they can't put together a reasonable, enjoyable system that might not be perfect, but at least makes sense. You're telling me that. You're seriously telling me that Blizzard, the most well-funded development house on the planet in terms of gaming, certainly the most well-funded MMO developer, certainly the biggest talent in MMO development. They've got developers lining up around the block to work for them. Talented guys. You are telling me, with 11 million subscribers, you are telling me with a carte blanche, you are telling me with millions upon millions, I'm talking hundreds of millions of dollars coming in every month, you are telling me that you cannot introduce a Path of the Titan style system that actually works. And you expect me to believe that. Right. And I also expect that you believe I was born yesterday. That I rode in on the banana boat, as it were. That I am indeed the Queen of Sheba. Because that is bollocks. Let's go on, shall we? Ghostcrawler continues to say, a big part of game design is triage, knowing when something is good enough, knowing when something can be good with just a little more work, and knowing when something is a lost cause, at least for now. There are very few WoW features that we kill outright. Most go into a design parking lot, and we get together every few months to review these features and consider what to work on next. Fortunately, one of the benefits of being Blizzard is we don't have to ship a product until we think it's ready. Oh, really? Okay, let me just repeat that for a second. I've got to make this very, very clear. one of the advantages of being Blizzard is we don't have to ship a product until we think it's ready. Okay. Heroic versions of classic instances might not be ready for the release of Cataclysm and will be shipped in content patch instead. I just want to double check, because, you know, maybe I'm mistaken here. Maybe I just misread it. Now, let's go back, just make sure I haven't misinterpreted what Mr. Ghostcrawler had to say. Okay, here we go. One of the benefits of being Blizzard Entertainment is that we don't have to ship a product until we think it's ready. And then about halfway down the page, heroic versions of classic instances might not be ready for release of Cataclysm and will be shipped with a content patch instead. Right. So, not only does Blizzard think I was born yesterday, not only does Blizzard think that I'm stupid, but they also think that I'm blind and can't read basic English. Right. Okay. So yes, Blizzard definitely wants everything ready for release, except this, and this. Except these two major content pieces, and yeah. So I assume that also applies to Battle.net 2.0. Like, say, I don't know, chat rooms. You know, those are not going to be ready for release. Okay, fair enough, chat rooms, no chat rooms. Cross-round play. That's not going to be ready either, because apparently the technology, quote, just isn't there yet. Right, okay, so once Blizzard invents a time machine, travels back 10 years to when it was indeed possible to play games with people on the other side of the planet, then we'll be able to do that. But it's okay, the time travel technology not quite ready yet. You see, this is the dark age of technology, in fact. This is the dark millennium. Much of what we learned has now since been lost, destroyed indeed. This is Highlander 2 The Quickening going on in this Hisei, according to Blizzard Entertainment. But yes, of course, we're not going to ship it until it's ready. No, that would be ridiculous. Yes. I assume we're not going to ship StarCraft 2 either, because, you know, that doesn't have proper balance yet, and half the features are missing, and Battle.net 2.0 is garbage. But no, we're not going to ship that, of course. Then that's going to be pushed back from July the 27th, right? Blizzard? Blizzard? Where are you? The deafening silence. Blizzard? Oh yes, there's a shocker. They're lying to you. Pro-frickin' tip. This is not tinfoil hat kind of material, ladies and gentlemen. This is them caught red-handed. They said it themselves. Ghostcrawler just lied to you. You just heard it. Can you deny any of what I just said? Because if you think you can, go to the MMO Champion page and read the quote for yourself. If you think I've manipulated it, misquoted it, or taken it out of context, go read it for yourself and tell me, as honestly as you possibly can, that Ghostcrawler did not just lie to your face. Because those two sentences cannot exist in harmony unless one of them is a lie. And both of them came from Blizzard. So Blizzard is lying to you one way or the other. I'll be talking about the guild stuff after the fact. I'm not going to go into this just yet, but what I'd like to point out, and this is something I will come back to, a very, very important element of this. Blizzard has now abandoned the when it's done philosophy. It's gone. Now, as far as I'm concerned, it went with Wrath. Yeah? I can understand releasing with bugs, because you're always going to have bugs, and it's difficult to shake all those bugs away. That's okay. That's not bad. That's fine. But we're talking about huge masses of missing content. Wrath of the Lich King launched without a second tier of raiding. Not there at all. It took them 6 months to bring it in. In those 6 months, they lost a ton of subscribers, people got bored as hell. But, funnily enough, a lot of people wasted, let's see, what would that be? 6 months worth of subscription. 6 times 15, there you go. They wasted that much in terms of cash. Yes, indeed. Think about that for a second. $90 pissed away on Naxxramas 2.0. Don't tell me that wasn't deliberate. Don't tell me that Blizzard doesn't ship it when it's done, because that is rubbish. They have disproven that in Wrath. They continue to disprove that now. Just admit it. Don't try and trade on that pedigree anymore. Seriously. Because it's a lie. A complete, barefaced, through the back teeth lie. And it's there in black and white, or in the case of MMO Champion, grey and blue. Go read it, you'll see it, and you'd have to be a moron not to realise it. My name is Total Biscuit, you're listening to Blue Please here on CynicalBread.com. Back after the break to talk about guild talents. In the meantime, let's have some Smasher Devourer. This is Fear Factory. Enjoy.